sometimes on Sunday afternoons, some of us get together and just kind of have an impromptu talk about, what are we going to do next? What's the next step? Since, since Faith did not want to, go to therapy, did not want to do this, did not want to do that, now has restraining order. Let me make sure I say the right word. Now has her. Started the divorce process. Restraining order. Yeah, that one right there. Temporary, yeah. Okay. So since there's, and we just kind of talk about, okay, if there's going to be nothing but enablers, if there's going to be, as much as this sucks, I tried my darndest to see if, people could attempt to have some level of intervention, but, it didn't quite happen. Withdrawing, spending, there's 8 pages of these things. Changing, canceling, opening or diverting mail, blah, blah, blah. Destroying of, disposing of, or altering an email, text message, video message, or chat message. And of course, okay, she's already deleted, she deleted our 6.5 year conversation on Facebook. Even though it says, hold on, that's evidence now, ma'am, or that's, don't do that. It's really terrifying to just really understand. Hold on. I love being in a place where the roots are deep. It's terrifying when you really understand and you realize that does this lady really care about her children? And that's going to come across weird and go, oh, my goodness. But you think back on Suzanne, and this was back in 1980, whenever she, didn't get custody. And you just realize, Faith, you really don't. I'm not trying to be a prick here, but you really don't care about the kids, do you? Who in the world? Who does this crap? Let's skip the bullshit here. Who does this stuff? Who in the world would get what kind of a parent gets a restraining order who has 3 beautiful little girls that all they knew is that I was daddy, okay, stepdaddy, half, whatever you want to call it. But if you're so delusional, which you are, it's not a name calling, okay? Let's be gentle and loving but accurate. It's not name calling. It's a it is unfortunately just a reality. Who refuses to not go to therapy? Who decides to break restraining orders and is a mother? So either I have to be dead, or I need to worry about being stalked and harassed and the rest of my life being hell, or, oh, I don't know, would anybody else like to Google what happens when somebody breaks their restraining orders over and over and over and over and over again? Damn near every line item on all 8 pages, almost. And most of them are done, multiple times. That is ridiculous. I mean, on one hand, you've got, because on one hand, you got this schmuck over here. Hi. And people are saying, well, not people, but people are repeating, horrible monster. I heard he did this. I heard he did that. I heard he did all this stuff. And it's all coming from whoops. It's all coming from, Faith said, Faith said Brad blank. Okay, so it's no longer a reality of, wow, Brad is a great family guy. Brad is great, at church. Brad is really nice for going to the community garden. Brad is just a normal Joe Schmo. It becomes just a big pile of poo. And the crappy thing is that people keep repeating it. They can't stop. So, I hate the fact that I'm going to have to file all of these all of these cease and desist. It's nuck and futz. It really is. But then somebody started talking about, never mind. But there's a part about delusions that comes into play that I really didn't, after talking with somebody, that's very good. You have to be careful as to not say who, or Faith will literally track them down. That's freaking terrifying as well. It's this relentless paranoia that comes from trauma. And it is very scary. Yeah, she will hunt you. She will hunt you down. You need to know that. She will track you down. If you so much as... That's not it. The occurrence of at least one lifetime traumatic event was associated with 2.5 times greater risk of psychotic activity. Okay, hold on. So if you've got somebody who has been through okay. Oh wait, didn't I think in one of my old journals I wrote this. Dude. Oh. If you've got somebody who, now let's just run with that first one. The occurrence of at least one lifetime traumatic event was associated with 2.5 greater times risk of psychosis-like experiences. Okay. So what happens if somebody has been through... Oh, did I really write that down then too? Can't recall rage, fight, or flight. Okay, so there's something to this whole... The occurrence of at least one lifetime traumatic event was associated with 4.8 times greater risk. Okay, there's something to be said about what's the correct psychosis like? Trauma, anxiety, and psychosis like. Okay. There's something to be said about the evidence for the association between trauma and psychosis is strongest for the occurrence of hallucinations. A history of child abuse increased the risk of subsequent development of psychotic symptoms by over 10. It's also of note that a history of lifetime trauma was associated with higher scores and clinical psychosis. Okay, so we're sitting here trying to figure out, this is not normal, okay? For a mom to, for, Joe Schmo soccer mom, and you've got Faith over here, you got, woe is me, henny penny, the sky is falling, oh my goodness, damsel in distress, yet in reality, she's blown through 2 law firms. She has restraining orders against her. How is that not registering to her? How is that not clicking? I mean, something, if you're on the inner tubes of the interwebs of the whatever watching this, if you have restraining orders against you and you have, 3 little girls, you would think you would want to look at the restraining orders and then look at Aubrey and say, damn, maybe I shouldn't do XYZ behavior. You would want to look at Alexis and say, golly gee whiz shucks, maybe I shouldn't do XYZ behavior. You would want to look at Caitlin and say, gosh, maybe I shouldn't do XYZ behavior. Because, something internal, something motherly, something parentally kicks in. I don't know why. I don't know why sometimes people do, parents, especially moms, and this is why the whole theme of this is help mom. Mom needs help. Give mom mental health. Mom, lady, women. Does everybody get what they've been growing up in? Because I've seen it. I've been in there. I've had to stand between douchebag and the mom. I've had to be the punching bag between asshole man and the mom. How do you see everything going on in the world and not want to advocate for mom getting mental health? Mom, you need to go, Faith, you need to go to counseling. You need to go to therapy. Do you understand that what the pastor did, what your dad did, what the church did to you, what the college has done to you over... I still love the way the back of this book says it. There it is. The ritual abuse and understanding the programming, conditioning, indoctrination, and dissociative reactions. And ugh, ongoing relations. This is still an awesome book. Rink. A guide for survivors of ritual abuse. In other words, if you have been in a cult from birth to age 35 and September 7th, 2012, some idiot with big ears was able to help you get and provide a pathway for you to leave the cult, then this is a good book to read once you get out of the cult, assuming that you actually want to leave the cult. In your head, in your soul, in your mind, in your thoughts, and in your behaviors. If you don't want to, then that's fine. You know, I did what I thought was right, and I don't want to be I don't want to be shot. I don't want to be dead. I don't want death threats. I don't want to go to I don't want to, just it's temporary restraining order, and yeah, that's anyways, there's something that's not and I've got to bring this to a head, and I'm really contemplating what else to do or what to do next, because it seems like there is I did another one of these earlier today after I got done at church. It does seem like there's a lot of people who enable based on gender, and there's part of me that says that's that says that's fine, but then there's part of me that says, wait a minute, you cannot be completely blind. If you are completely blind and you just go run after every piece of hoo-ha that screams fire, 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 without thinking with your brain head, you can get in trouble. And it has caused a lot of problems for a lot of people, but I want it to be over, and I know after watching her stalk and harass, and I just saw a little bit of it with Jason Conway, her first ex-husband, the one that's that she left. I don't understand that. Well, I understand it now that I've read it. I can't relate to it though, but I understand that level of paranoid, hyper paranoid. I understand where that comes from now. And Faith, I don't. From the March 11th incident at Pathway, I think some of us are really starting to get an understanding of what level your actions are capable of going to. And to know and understand that your cognition says that doing certain behaviors are okay. That lets people know that this isn't going to stop anytime soon, Brad. You're going to have to take legal action. I don't want to, though, because I know that the legal actions are going to mean that it's going to affect Aubrey, Alexis, and Caitlin. And knowing that even with restraining orders against you, it's still like it doesn't click. Like whenever I tell people that, okay, wait, you have to listen to her very differently. 3.5 decades of a right-wing nut job, misogynistic asshole jerk. Men, you shall use this elevator. Women, you shall use this staircase. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, those people were real assholes. And to grow up with that and only know that for 35 years, that has literally, cognitively, neurologically created a different person that is not normal than what you or I or 99% of the world might see. When she goes to fluff up some incredulous story and spread it like wildfire, but he's going to bring a gun into church. He could be the Unabomber. He may be a package bomber. He's a horrible monster. The girls are going to be abducted. And again, I don't know why she deleted our Facebook chat conversation from 6 years. Imagine that was a lot to delete. However, as another verification that, it just says don't delete those. Why did you just stop the behavior? It's not that hard. But in those, I went back and I showed some folks, look, this is way back in 2011. This is why I invited her and had to point out to her over and over and over again, this is a cult. You're in a cult. You need to leave. This is bad. This is wrong. This isn't normal. This isn't functional. This isn't what God intended for you. She said the girls are going to be kidnapped and abducted back in 2011. I don't know why people don't want to help Faith, but she really needs some help. You can't, you can, let's just say this. Google what happens when you break a restraining order. In some cases, it might be a misdemeanor. In other cases, and you can look up public record on what, what judges give what punishment to, what crimes. God, this is gonna suck. Faith, no one is going to bring you in front of the church and shame you. I didn't reach out to Josh and Pathway and talk about our relationship and our family because anybody was trying to shame you. This is not the cult. No one is going to, no one's going, well, you're doing it to yourself, but, over the past 6-7 months, understand that no one at Pathway was ever going to shame you because your husband went, or your man, your guy, the girl, that Aubrey, Alexis, and Caitlin are calling daddy, went and talked to the family pastor counselor. That's not a reason to have some explosive, paranoid, delusional, not real reaction and get Katie and Adrian and Ryan and Patty and Debbie and Shannon and all those people to come, clear out the house. I'm sorry, that's theft over 1,500 times 8 people. Damn, do I want to do that one? There was no reason for all that. There just really wasn't. And it really does suck now that I'm sitting here wondering, after the March 11th incident, I've got to take legal action, but I'd never do just rush into it. So, April, May, okay, now it's June. School is out. We're going to have to do something now. I wish to God that, Faith, you need to finish the divorce process. Stop blazing through law firms. If they say that they cannot ethically represent you, then that should be a hint. I don't know any other way to say that. That needs to be a hint. You need to get help, and you need to go talk to some other people and be honest with them. If you cannot be honest with them, which I don't think you can, and that's the problem, then it's like she's stuck in this loophole. Faith, I think you're stuck in a loophole again. Do you remember whenever? Remember back in the day, 2011, 2012, 2000, whatever. Do you remember whenever I said, Faith, listen to what you're saying? You even repeated that on a couple of people's, on Laura's Doohickey Majig podcast. Faith, listen to what you're saying. Okay? Not everybody in the world is going to be gullible. Don't get me wrong, Katie and Adrian are going to put their nose in everybody's stinky poo, and they're going to get stinky poo back on their face. I don't know why they do that. It's not that you're not the first person they've done that to, and you're probably not going to be the last. I wish I could tell you something different. I don't know why you think that there's a need to ruthlessly, relentlessly, find Jason Conaway's work, Jason Conaway's church, Jason Conaway's girlfriend, Jason Conaway's girlfriend's mom, Jason Conaway's girlfriend's dad, on and on. I asked somebody why on earth would somebody do that? And they said, well, maybe it's for child support. No, not at this level. That's just straight up something is red. I mean, it's 5 years later, 600-700 miles away. You're still stalking Jason, and there's a reason that you got restraining orders against you. Damn, girl. If you don't understand that, then you need to go ask somebody, and you need to go ask somebody who is not stupid, but you need to go ask somebody who is going to have enough courage and honesty to come ask me to give just a little bit of, hey, here's the rest of the story. I'm not going to do he said, she said, they said, we said. There's the text messages. There's the emails. There's the Facebook messages. There's the death threats. There's blah, blah, blah. I'm not much of a he said, she said guy. I mean, I may have to fill in a blank or two, but about 90% of it is just I don't need you to believe me. Here it is right there. I would encourage you to find somebody to be honest with who is willing to take a more proper approach than people like Pathway, people like Katie and Adrian and stuff like that. They're digging you a hole, and they're digging it deeper. I understand that, Shane, Casey, Kevin, Patrick, they need to stroke their wee little egos together, and that's fine. They don't get that in doing that. They're digging your hole deeper, and they are, I don't know, why don't you idiots go have her fitted for an orange jumpsuit yourself? We just skip the whole legal process. Jeez. God, this sucks, Faith. So it's June. I don't want to do this. The lawyer doesn't want to do this, so she's like, this is you're venturing off into land that, she's like, hey, I've never seen. I'm not comfortable with somebody that, does this kind of stuff. I'm like, who is? So we may have to go for, forget the old, plain Jane lawyer that does, I do will probates the state and yada yada. We may have to go get an actual, real, not that she's not real, but, a more proficient attorney. Faith, I don't know what. It's almost like you're driving yourself into your own fears. It's just, it's beyond me. It's beyond a lot of people, but, who are those people? I want to know what their names are. You tell me who they are. No. The only person you need to worry about is those three little girls and the guy with a gavel. Put it on your damn Facebook. Get alone with God and look at what you've done. Damn. What kind of person gets just... Faith, I understand you're hurting. That doesn't give you a right to hurt other people, though. Okay? I fully understand that you are... it was Don. Hurting people hurt others, right? No one's trying to hurt you. No one's going to kidnap and abduct. No one's trying to hurt you. No one's going to kidnap and abduct the children. No one's going to come into church guns a-blazing. No one's going to, well, hell, no one lied about you about being in the Navy. No one lied. No one had, well, this guy, at least, didn't have an affair for 4.5 years. Oh, and he's still married. Still not married to anybody else. If I am, I'm hoping it's J-Lo or Mariah Carey. Faith, you understand that by just, having all your girlfriends come and steal everything out of the house and just, kind of stonewalling it, that's not proper resolution. If you don't want to have a relationship, which obviously, that's not going to happen. That's fine. You don't have a right to take it out on Aubrey, Alexis, and Caitlin and make them scared and fearful all the time. That's right. This is my video. I get to say whatever I want. Or I get to say whatever's true. And I get to say it how I want. The girls do not have to live in fear. Or somebody sent me a screenshot of... somebody sent me a screenshot of a thing that said... Oh, yeah. It's getting serious now. Somebody sent me a screenshot of a thing that said, "My girls will not live in fear." And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, well, gosh, babe, that'd be great if, if you hadn't gone to Aubrey Sunday School teacher and said, the girls really need to live in fear. The girls need to live in fear. And here's the fear. Here's the fear that I have right here. Here's my fear. Make sure the girls don't live in this fear, but they need to be fearful. Hey, Alexis, teacher. Oh my goodness, here's my fears. Here's the fear. Somebody's going to come into the children's hallway and abduct my children and my children only. Oh my goodness, but don't be fearful. Dear Caitlin's teacher, oh my goodness, I want you to know that you should not have any fear, but here's the fear that I want you to have, and this is the fear that is not going to be fearful. Don't be scared, okay? And here's what you need to not be scared of. Ah! Okay, all right, okay. Is that it? Like just the Sunday school? No. Dear Aubrey and Lexus teachers at Stribling, here's what you need to be afraid of. You need to be afraid of this. Oh my goodness, he's going to come abduct the children. He's going to come. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, all right. Same thing at Caitlin's school. Same thing at other churches that I haven't even, other people are from other churches. It's like, it's relentless. It's so crazy that it's relentless. And the only other option is to take legal action from what everybody's telling me. And I don't want to take legal action. Shit, Faith, how do you have so much charm on... It's like... Oh. How can you have so much charm 1 second and then... Well, that's how... That's right. That's how... Look, folks, Faith is going to have the pearls and the outside appearance of happy, smiling. She even waves at people that we don't know, which it was totally funny when it happened. And in and of itself, you think, hey, that's a great quality. Hey, babe, who was that? I don't know. Just waving to him for the heck of it. Oh, honey, you're so sweet. You would think that's a good quality to have, and it is. But then you go to the other I don't want to say other end, but other side of that gamut, and you realize the same person, on one hand says, oh my goodness, girls, your daddy doesn't love you, your daddy hates you, all of you drive him nuts. And then an hour later, we're having family game night. That's the what's it called? A range of, I don't know the diagnosis one, the range of whatever. That's how far and how widely vast, the just gamut of just personality is. Anybody going to Pathway since September when it started, but then would anyone at all say ever think to realize that what date does it start? On the file date or the would anybody at Pathway ever think, gosh, Faith has, would anybody really temporary restraining order? Yeah. I don't know what they're called. All everybody else cared about was what they did. But would anybody ever think to realize, okay, wait a minute. Oh, hey, damsel in distress. Oh, Brad did X, Y, Z. Okay, we're going to bite that off hook, line, and sinker. Yes. Oh, we'll come and we'll put out the fire. Man, there's no fire here. At any point, would anybody ever say, crap, Faith Conaway has a restraining order against her? Well, yeah, it was back in October. Is when it, I guess, finally got official. So everything subsequent, everything after, October, November, December, January, February, March, every one of those incidents drives her further down into a legal, and not just a social hole of burning bridges and people that are finding out the truth, but it dug her into a legal hole, and it's not showing any signs of stopping at all. And that's the crappy part, is that, okay, wait a minute. So you threw Pathway Corporate under the bus. And that's Shane and Casey's fault for, I don't want to say being rope-a-dope, but it is. That's their fault for just, and the guy's a cop, for God's sakes. Whenever, you would think whenever somebody says, oh my goodness, we had to call the police for family violence, he would check the record and check the camera and say, no, ma'am, he didn't. He didn't call the, he didn't do anything. He was standing there with his witness, like Rick told him to go get, and they're both standing in the driveway. There you are. There's everybody else. And at this time, the divorce hasn't started to be filed yet. So that means that is theft over $1,500, which is a felony. And there's the safety squad cars. There's cop pulled right up in front of them. So right there in front of the camera is the Reams SUV. Why would you throw all of those people under the bus like that, Faith? It just, I don't, it's not that it's not normal, but like, you read every book and I go and I ask, the diagnostician and the clinician and the psychologist and the psychiatrist and the counselor and all of these people, what in the world is going on here? And finally somebody said, you know what? You got to start looking over here, Brad. You got to start looking at this. Because this right here is a big deal. Okay? I think with lawyers and cops and a bulletproof vest for me, maybe we should talk, Faith. Maybe we should talk, because I don't want to file this. Maybe you should have I can't have how do you go through 2 law firms if you're the damsel in distress? Damn, girl. Five years later, still stalking Jason Conaway. I'm not going to do this, Faith. You could have gone to jail so many times. And I want to extend grace and I want to extend mercy. I also don't want to be dead. So there's that. I mean, geez. Don't want to be dead. There's that. Holy crap. Faith, did it ever occur to you? Do you remember the day that was it that day? I want to hire a video producer to actually put some of these together. Faith, do you remember the day that I said, why are you treating me like this? I did not beat you. I am not from that church. My name is not Jason. I have not, beat the kids, abused the kids. I have not done anything I'm not perfect, but I've done nothing to deserve all of this gamut of crap that you put out and you put onto me every freaking day. And I said, I am not Jason Conaway. Stop treating me like I am. Remember what you thought? Do you remember what you thought I said? You accused me of saying that you deserve to be beat. And you were in one of your, PTSD, delusional, irate, psychosis. I mean, it's just a separation from reality. And that's what it is. Don't one of the other screenshots. He's going to go around town and call me a psycho bitch. No, ma'am, I'm not. People are going to look at the behaviors and they're going to call it what it is. Okay? This is a separation from reality. And what was interesting was that something in my old medulla oblongata, with all the gray hairs and everything, clicked and it said, I've heard that before. So it turns out I went back in time. Actually, I think it was bookmarked. And I listened to your podcast over on Lip Talk Nation, Life in Purple with Laura. Do you remember that it was Jason Conaway who said, you deserve to be beat? So you've now taken something that happened with him and associated it with me. Let me say again, I think you should have gotten help long before now. I don't know. No, I do know. I get that the independent fundamentalists have cultured your brain into thinking that therapy is bad and you're going to be strung in front of the church and shamed into, doing something, into all of your sins will be made public. That's not real. Okay. I don't know how to say it. You need to get this divorce final. I don't think you understand. The longer you put off the inventory, which I get that you don't want to do it. If I walked in and cleared out somebody's house, I wouldn't want to turn in an inventory to the judge either that said, hey, I took everything. Okay, just put something down on the inventory so that you can get this done, okay? Do the inventory. Try to stay within legal bounds so that a lawyer can represent you so that the process will go faster. If not, just take the inventory down to the second story. The second floor. Just take it down there and ask them where to drop it off at. You've got all the other court papers. If you can't have a lawyer represent you for ethical reasons a third time, then okay, fine. Just get it done. Seriously. I don't know what else to tell you. You can sit there and say and deny it if you wanted to deny it. It was whenever Katie went in there with you. Then you need to prove that we did not live together for 2 years. You did not introduce yourself as married, and that yada yada yada. Okay. There's not like a level of cognition, of delusion, of an alternate reality, alternate facts, where you just walk in there and say, Judge, I don't think that we qualify as a common law marriage, and okay, bye. And then you walk out the courtroom. If you want to say that, okay, rock on, have fun. I understand what the law is. And I'm going to go ahead and file a actual proper divorce because it is the same thing as a regular marriage without the ceremony. And I'm going to do this the correct way as much as I can. It's summertime. This is going to come to a head either, depending on the court schedules. Balls. Faith. I don't know what else to tell you. You're the mother to those 3 little girls that called me daddy. Okay? Aubrey, Alexis, and Caitlin. I want you to open up those restraining orders. If you don't have a copy, feel free to ask. Go pull it. It's public record. Ask somebody else to contact me because you're blocked on both ends. No, I had to unblock it on Facebook to get the Facebook messages. But you're still blocked on the phone. That way, it removes the option of having to do anything. But Faith, listen, I really want you to listen to what you're saying, not just because, I'm a douchebag, I'm horrible, I'm a bad, mean monster. Okay. Have somebody else listen to this, or hopefully this will reach somebody else and they can tell you. You really do need to be sure that you are correctly reading your protective these restraining orders. Yeah. Do you remember that? I want you to think of those girls before you decide to do something else dumb. I mean, I don't know. Other than having a neurologist and a clinician and a psychiatrist and a psychologist and just going to therapy or even being open to going to therapy, can I please at least maybe hope that your whole maternal instincts that haven't kicked in over the last 6 months will kick in now? It's summertime. This is coming to an end. I have been overly, and maybe this is part of this is my fault for letting it go on. That's what he said for letting reality, not a delusion, for letting this reality go on so long. I'm sorry, but it's June. This is going to come to a head. If you want to talk, I would encourage you to call somebody. I don't know. And let's talk. But otherwise, I need to finish. I need to get those cease and desist orders out. We're going to wait 30 days. Probably everybody's going to ignore them. Yeah. I'm sorry. I love you with boundaries. I love you as a sister in Christ. I love you as a human. But can I at least hope to God all freaking mighty that if you have any paternal instincts, any maternal instincts at all, please look at your restraining orders again. Don't stop for my sake. Go have your paranoid delusions somewhere else. If you want to go tell somebody that, Brad's going to come harass me and steal the children at church, fine. Understand that that's illegal. That's illegal, period. That's called defamation, and that's what, is going to have to be filed. But you also have restraining orders against you, so that makes it, that's just one line item. That makes things a lot worse, okay? I don't know what kind of person doesn't get that. I don't understand that. I don't understand that rationale, that thinking, that mentality. I don't understand any of it. But, and as much as I would love to, maybe go back to school someday and get a master's degree in, I don't know what. Some people still believe in family. Behavioral psychology, I don't know. Faith, I don't understand why you're still doing this. It's baffling. I understand a bit of it only because I've seen what the independent fundamentalist Baptists, do, but, I don't know what happened to that lady right there. Okay? Blame me if it'll help. But do everyone else a favor and don't take it out on the girls, okay? Bye.